Shalom Israel. My name is Officer Kayad, one out of I.S.U.P.K, Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K started 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K is run by Commanding General Yahanna, the one man with the rank and the authority to lead Israel at this time. I say Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Barakatam to my brothers, Yahweh Shamar Alatan Ba'asham Yahweh Shai to my sisters. Alright, so you know what I mean, for the most part, here in Jamaica, you know what I mean, our people believe that we are Africans due to what we were taught, you know what I mean, in the schools, you understand, as well as the religion that was sprung up, you know what I mean, in Jamaica called Rastafariism, you know what I mean, and many other pan-African beliefs, you know what I mean, and most importantly, the lies that the oppressor gave to our people trying to hide our identity, saying that we are Africans. So what we are going to do today, we are going to prove to you, say, yo, we are not Africans. You know what I mean? What we are here in Jamaica, what the descendants of the slaves are, who the descendants of the slaves are here in Jamaica are the descendants of the Israelite, the Hebrew Israelites. You know what I mean? The Hebrew people. You understand? Which for some reason nobody can find the Hebrew people anymore. You understand? Nobody can point and say this people is the Hebrew people. You know what I mean? Because of what? Because they enslaved the Hebrew people and told them that they were someone else. You understand? So we're going to prove today that we are the people written off in the Bible, and that the Bible is no fairy tale book, it's your history book. You know what I mean? That the oppressor claims to be his when the people in the Bible are black people. You understand? So we're going to jump to the first scripture, and that is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 64. And this is what it said. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So the Most High promised to scatter us, you know what I mean, across the earth for breaking his commandments, breaking his laws. You understand? Which, when you read the Hebrew records, aka the Bible, it shows you where, you know what I mean, our people broke and continuously broke the Most High laws. You know what I mean? And the Most High said he would scatter us among all people. That is the reason why we are over here in Jamaica today. You understand? All right, let me jump to the book of Mark, because what you know, many of them might say, well, then we came from Africa, we never came from, you know what I mean, the Middle East. You understand? They never took we from the place over there called the land of Israel. You understand? They took us from the west coast of Africa. So how are you saying that we come from, you know what I mean, Israel, or the land of Israel, you know what I mean, or the Middle East, and history proves that they took us from the west coast of Africa? Then no, me have to go prove it. Prove, say, yo, they took us from the west coast of Africa, but we weren't originally from the west coast of Africa. You know what I mean? So again, back to the scriptures. You know what I mean? This is the book of Mark, chapter 13 and verse 14, and it says, but when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not, let him that read it understand. You understand? So Christ I make, you know what I mean? Christ was teaching, and Christ is telling the people that, you see, when you see the abomination of desolation, you understand? Meaning, you see the sacrifice of swine flesh upon the altar, and the Edens, you know what I mean, overrunning our land. Continue reading. Then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains. You understand? So who remained in Judea must flee to the mountains. You understand? Let's jump to the book of Luke. This is the book of Luke 21 and 21. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the country enter thereof. Right? So Christ said, when you see, you know what I mean, our land, you know what I mean, let me find another scripture. So this is the book of Luke, you understand? Same Luke. See? 21 and verse 20. Read one scripture up. You understand? And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, you understand? This is the main point. See? When you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, what armies? You know what I mean? At the time when Christ was on earth, you know what I mean, Jerusalem was under Roman, we call it occupation. You understand? So this army would be the Roman army. You know what I mean? Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. So the desolation that he's talking about is the abomination of desolation. You understand? Know that it is near or nigh. You understand? Verse 21. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. You know what I mean? Fleeing to the mountains mean to flee from Jerusalem and flee into the mountain area. Come out of our homeland and flee into the mountain. You understand? We are going to show you what these mountains were. You understand? So we are jump to a book named Babylon to Timbuktu. You know what I mean? Written by Arthur Windsor. You know what I mean? A black man, not an oppressor. You understand? Not an oppressor. You know what I mean? So no one can say that we get our history from our slave master. This is a brother. You understand? And this is what he wrote. You understand? And there's many more instances throughout this book and many more books that corroborate with this as well. So he says, this is the book of From Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84. You can purchase this book also. You know what I mean? Let me show you the book because we have a hard copy of it. You understand? From Babylon to Timbuktu. You understand? So this is page 84 and the second paragraph. And this is what it says. In the year 65 BC, the Roman army under General Pompey compassed Jerusalem. You know what I mean? So the year 65 BC, BC meaning before Christ. You understand? So this was before Christ was born, right? So now in 70 AD, so you skip now about 135 years after they do this. See, AD mean after the death of Christ, right? General Vespasian and his son. So let me explain it to you. So now, before Christ was born, 65 BC, right? The Romans, you know what I mean, occupied Israel. No, 70 years after Christ's death now. See? In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state. So they put an end to our kingdom. They call it the Jewish state, which with great slaughter. So, you know what I mean? They massacred our people, right? During the period of the military governor of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. So this was the mountain that Christ told our people to flee to Africa. You understand? So to answer the question, why if we came from Jerusalem, was we taken from the west coast of Africa? This was why. You know what I mean? 1 million Jews fled into Africa because of the Roman occupation and because of the slaughter, fleeing persecution and slavery. You understand? Fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave market were full of black Jewish slaves. You understand? So it's also telling you right there that the Jews were black. You understand? Because the slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. We were black. That is the reason why it made sense for us to flee into the mountains, which were Africa. You understand? Amongst people who were dark skinned like us, so that we could blend in, because it was white people chasing us down. You understand? So it made sense to confuse them by fleeing into Africa. You know what I mean? Following the commands of our king, Yahushua, who told us that our kingdom would have fell. And when you see it happen, when you flee in Africa. You understand? So that was how we end up in the west coast of Africa. And bear in mind, it's not just this 1 million that fled into Africa. Many fled to Europe and many fled other places, but eventually ended up in Africa because they faced the same persecution in Europe. You know what I mean? Talking about Portugal, you know what I mean, eventually Great Britain, you know what I mean, and all over Europe, you know what I mean. They eventually fled to Africa as well, you know what I mean. And like what we are showing, you know what I mean, the Africans knew that we weren't their people. So what they did, they knew that we were, you know what I mean, they knew that a bounty was upon our heads, you know what I mean, and we were easily identifiable because our culture was not that of the Africans. You understand? So what the Africans did, You know what I mean? They teamed up because Africa was a mountainous region, you know, and we know that mountainous regions are very difficult for the oppressor, the white man, to traverse. You know what I mean? Here in Jamaica, our Maroons proved that, you know what I mean, they were able to defeat the Spanish because they tread the mountains and the hilly regions. Africa was like that. So there was no way the oppressor, the white man, could have came into Africa and got us out. You know what I mean? It took the help of the Africans, the natives of that land to get us out. They teamed up with the oppressor and they caught us and sold us to the oppressor. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The oppressor providing them with guns, you know what I mean? Technology that we never had at the time. We were using swords. They were using, you know what I mean, guns, musket guns, you understand? So they were able to defeat us and, you know what I mean, overthrow us and team up with the oppressor and put us on the slave trade. You know what I mean? With the help of also the Arabs, which were black people as well, dark-skinned people, not our people, you know, but dark-skinned people. So we are not no Africans. Our culture is completely different and our standard of morality is completely different. You understand? To prove this, every time when I watch an African movie, when they say, yo, Africans wickedy, because I don't know fool people are wicked. So, you understand? Yeah, of course, there are wicked people amongst us, but then when we look on the Africans, it's like a different level of wicked. You understand? We not have the same vibe as the African them. You get me? Yeah, man. For example, we over here in Jamaica, we create so many different cultures. You know what I mean? Because we are full of, you know what I mean? We have that that attractive spirit, that spirit that creates. You understand? We create with dancehall, we create, you know, mentor, all different genre of music and culture. You understand? And it takes our music to populate Africa. So the Africans know who we are so-called descended from have to be adapting our music that we create over here in Jamaica and the music of our brothers, in North America, the Negroes. So you tell me, say, if we were taken from them, you know what I mean? They can't create what we create and better. Why them have to take from we? Because we are not the same people. They are the ones that sold us. And no, they are trying to adapt our culture. They are trying to culture appropriate. We are not the Africans. These are the Africans. So now you tell me if we and these people are the same. You know what I mean? I'll show you a little picture of, you know what I mean, regular African lifestyle, you know what I mean, which, you know what I mean, religious and cultural leaders here in Jamaica would want us to think that we are Africans. This is an African man, you know what I mean, catching a fresh batch of chimpanzee or monkeys, whatever those are. You know what I mean? Why he did it? He went hunting, you understand, for his dinner. Because Africans eat monkeys. You understand me? Next slide. So this is another Africa with a smile on his face. He just caught a rat, a big rat, bigger than anything you see here in Jamaica. You understand? And he's happy because he eats rat. Now you must ask any Jamaican descendant of a slave, of the slave trade, if they eat rat. The sight of any kind of rat is disgusting to you, but it's not disgusting to the African. The same way it's not disgusting to the Chinese. You understand? All right, next slide. This is, you know what I mean? I don't remember the tribe name. I will break it down in a class one of these days, probably next class, right? The name, I think it's the when I remember, you know what I mean, I'm going to draw back feet and bring it out in a class. No, these set of Africans, they have insect problem, flies, mosquito, bugs. You know what I mean? And one solution that they found was that if them bathe themselves in a cow piss, you know what I mean, it would keep away the insects. You know what I mean? No, any Jamaican, any black person here in Jamaica or any Arawak Indian here in Jamaica can look on this and see that it's clearly disgusting. But the African don't think so. It is his culture bathed in cow piss. You understand? We are not Africans. No, we all know these infamous pictures of Africans with plate in their lips and all these things. So we are going to ask our cultural leaders out here in Jamaica, like Muta Baruka and all the others, the Rastafari and them, who love to big up Africa and say that Africa is our motherland and homeland. Why aren't they putting plates in their lips? Why aren't they boring their lips and their ears with big plates? It's because it's disgusting to them. But what they do is they pick and choose African culture that, you know what I mean, seem attractive to them. You understand? And throw away the ones that look disgusting like this. You get to me and say, for example, Mutabaruka, you would see Mutabaruka dressing somewhat like, oh, you see these people dressing, you know what I mean? But one thing you won't see him with, you won't see him with the plate in his lip. Because, you know what I mean? I guess he's saying that part him no want, that part of Africa him no want, him only want the glorious part of Africa, when all of Africa does not belong to us. You know what I mean? African culture is not our culture. You know what I mean? Israelite culture, you know what I mean? The covenant, you know what I mean? The contract that we have with the Creator, you know what I mean? The rulership of this planet, that is what belongs to us. You know what I mean? But because the lack of our knowledge pertaining to that, we are in oppression. You understand? That is the reason why we're calling you back to the truth, to the truth. This is the truth. We don't love to talk about our truth. Well, our truth is the Bible. You understand? These laws, statutes, and commandments, which following Mutabaruka, you know what I mean, and all these other Rastafarians, you will break these laws that the Most High gave you, and you will continue to be oppressed and suffer. You understand? Let me jump to another picture. You understand? This is an African woman, you know what I mean, showing the result of the plate in her lip. You know what I mean? See her lip stretch out like an elastic band. No, tell me now. Would you do that? No, you wouldn't. Because to you, that is disgusting. You understand? Next picture. Now, here's another African man bearded in cow piece, because this is a well-known tradition in Africa, in that tribe of Africa. Now, here's another plate-lipped African with an iPad and an AK-47. You understand? And here is, you know what I mean, an African in the market buying some, I guess these are badgers or some big rats, you know what I mean, which you wouldn't eat. You wouldn't even come near it, because you find that disgusting, as do all of us over here, but Africans don't. You understand? Here's another plated lip African. I guess this is what Rastafari call their Nubian goddess. You know what I mean? I guess. So, you know what I mean? Next picture. Here is, you know what I mean, massacred gorilla, you know what I mean, an alligator right there. This is what Africans call food. This is what they prepare. This is what you call bush meat. Just do a research on what bush meat is. Africans go into the jungle and they kill every kind of animal they can catch. You know what I mean? You understand? That is bush meat. That is African, you know what I mean, delicacy. You understand? Bush jungle meat. You understand? Hence the reason why you find out them catch Ebola, you know what I mean, and many other diseases, because they eat bush meat. You understand? The other day I see a picture with popcorn. Went over to Africa and tried African food for the first time. And you know what I mean? The food was so bad that he must get up, wash him and ask himself where them put in it. Because African food and our food, you know what I mean, is not the same. We don't have the same taste in things. You know what I mean? So what we are trying to show you is we are not African. If anybody should try Jamaican food or Caribbean food or Mexican food or Black American food, it would be the best food them ever taste in their life. But once you try African food, you know what I mean, you don't want no more. Ask popcorn. See? So now here's another African man catch a fresh monkey because he eat monkey. So ask Mutabaruka, why is he vegetarian? You know what I mean? Why are you vegetarian, Muta, when Africans eat monkey? You need to ask yourself that. Being vegetarian is not African culture. You know what I mean? So when you claim African culture and when lead our people to African culture, when we not fully go into African culture, you know what I mean? We not pick and choose the cultures of Africa that we like and we reject the one them that we don't like. When, you know what I mean, if we really mean, say, yo, we are Africans, I think we should go full-fledged into African culture with the lip piercing, you know what I mean, the rings around the neck, we stretch the neck, the flattening of the forehead and all them things. The since we're not African, you know what I mean, eating monkeys, eating bats, eating anything. We don't need to eat them things there. Prove to us that we're not African. Till then, we feel like we're just a fake, the funk. You know what I mean? We're not be sincere to the belief. We're just, you know what I mean, hold dear to a certain belief because we think people follow you because of that. But in reality, we don't really believe what we talk about. You understand? Here's another Africa with a big rat because they eat rat. You understand? Here is, you know what I mean, a beautiful, you know what I mean, of course, that is sarcasm, African woman, you know what I mean, with a big lip plate, you know what I mean, looking like an alien. You understand? So tell me, you know, why you do, you know what I mean, adapt them culture, yeah? Why you do these things? You claim you're African, but none of you do none of them something there. You understand? You dress like modern, you dress in modern African culture, which is a copy of our culture. You understand? You do modern African culture. You know what I mean? Which is a copy of our culture. Where you say, you know what I mean? The African them being more civilized and dressing, you know what I mean, more with more clothes and, you know what I mean, beautifying themselves in a more, you know what I mean, like our woman beautify themselves. But you would never marry this thing, right? So you would never take she for be your wife because to that disgusting. You know what I mean? So it gets, I guess, not sincere with being Africans. And what we are trying to say to Uno is that we are not Africans. Here's another lip piercing, which we know that is common in Africa. Here's somebody catch a monkey, which they are gonna eat later, right? So what we are trying to show is, you know what I mean? Don't believe the lies, you know what I mean? Don't believe the deceptions. We are not Africans. You know what I mean? For the most part, we even look like Africans. You know what I mean? And Africans hate us. You know what I mean? Ask Africans. They don't like us. They call us Akatas or slaves. You know what I mean? They never lost track of their culture, their history. They know where they come from, but we don't know. You know what I mean? So we believe the oppressors lie, telling us that we are Africans because we don't know no better. As far as we know, we were brought over here on slave ships. And our history start, you know what I mean? Knowledge of our history start, you know what I mean, from slavery. You know what I mean? And whatever the oppressor writes and tell us. You know what I mean? And the Bible does not belong to the oppressor. When you read the Bible is talking about black people. You understand? And the Bible is talking about the imminent destruction of the oppressor. You know what I mean? What the oppressor did, as he do with every culture, is steal our culture, steal the Bible, claiming that it is talking about him, when in reality it's talking about his destruction and our rights. We are the Israelites written off in the Bible, the Hebrew Israelites. You know what I mean? The chosen people of the Most High. You know what I mean? That is our culture, not African culture. You understand? And with that, I say like the video, share, subscribe to this channel. Leave the questions or the comments, you know what I mean? Feel free to disagree or agree. You know the thing go. Yeah, man. Shalom.